Time for the main event!
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So it looks like the Ringside Season Pass 4, if the Nintendo listing is to be believed, is launching next week on July 22nd. And then in August, we're getting the WrestleMania 42 pack. And then if we look a little further to September, also on Nintendo, they have the date listed for that. And I'm a little concerned, and I have a feeling that 2K26 will die on that date. Now, why is this going to happen? What can they do to pretty much avoid this? Let's get into it because I have a few ideas. Alright, before we continue, I just want to show you what's in the pack for next week real quick, even though we've covered this before. So, July 22nd, according to Nintendo.com, I don't think it's been officially released yet, or the reveal date released yet, as of the making of this video, but we're getting Jeff Hardy, Jelly Roll, Lady Shani, and Matt Hardy. Now, $10, blah, blah, blah. Now, if we go to Ringside Season Pass 5, according to Nintendo.com, which we'll look at here in a second, it's coming out in September 9th, and it's got Bam Bam Bigelow, Brie Bella, Pagano, and Danhausen. I think Danhausen is a huge draw. There's a lot of Brie Bella fans, but these two characters are the biggest pack. Now for us old school guys, Bam Bam Bigelow, one of the greatest big men ever. It's super fast for such a big dude. That's really cool. And then of course Pagano. And then if you go down to the last pack, which has pretty much no bearing on this video, although it might if we look at the dates for the games coming out soon. Earthquake, Octagon Jr., Typhoon, and Royce Keys. Now let's focus on this one, the Ringside Season Pass 5. Even though 4 is not out, I just want to bring this to your attention because there's something that could happen here for those of you who have not bought the game yet, and we'll go over that here in a second. So let's look at all the games coming out in September. So in September, we have Emery Hearts on the 2nd. We have The Blood of the Dawnwalker on September 3rd. That's on all platforms. Orbitals, which is coming to Nintendo Switch 2 on September 3rd. Omni New Show Wave the Sword is coming out on all platforms, I believe except for the Switch, on September 4th. On September 8th, we're getting Halloween the Game. That comes to all platforms except the Switch 2. Valheim 1.0 release, which is a very popular survival game, just like Power. All these survival games are going into official release right before Grand Theft Auto, which is kind of funny. That's coming literally to every platform, including the Switch 2. Now, this is the biggest one. Despite all the negativity and the hate around Sony currently, Marvel's Wolverine is coming out on September 15th. And I do believe they have like an early access version of it if you purchase the digital edition, which I hope you guys aren't doing that if you want to fight the all-digital future. I mean, even if you don't care about that, it's still nice having the option to buy physically because it creates competitive pricing across all the different platforms. Anyway, so Marvel's Wolverine is launching pretty close to the Ringside Season Pass 4, or 5, I should say. So that's, everybody's going to be playing this if you own a PlayStation. If you don't own a PlayStation, then you're fine. There's plenty of stuff to do on wrestling games and all this other stuff. Now, the same day is RuneScape Dragon Wilds 1.0, another great, huge survival game that has tons and tons of stuff to do. All these games coming out this month or back to back are all games that take a lot of your time. And a lot of these games are going to be taking everybody away from the WWE 2K26 video game. Now, next is Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, which comes out on September 17th. That's a huge one for Nintendo Switch 2 fans. I personally don't care about Fire Emblem, but there it is. Trials in the Sky, second chapter on the 17th. Warhammer 40,000, Dawn of War 4, 17th. The Grinch 2, Saving Christmas on the 18th. Paperhead on the 18th. Ratatan on the 18th. Control Resonant on the 24th. Harvest Moon, Echoes of Tradea on the 24th. Hot Wheels Infinite Rush on the 24th. Even though it's a kid game, I think it looks cool. Silent Hill Downfall on the 24th. Gothic 2 Complete Classic, 29th. Minecraft Dungeons, 29th. Crimson Moon, to be determined. And I believe that Animo game was supposed to come out at the end of September. That new, like, Pokemon-style online MMO thing. Anyway, so why does any of this matter? Well, consistently, almost every single week, there's going to be competition for W2K26 and your time. So the ringside pass that requires you to grind and try to unlock things, and the new island updates and all that kind of stuff, pretty much going to be abandoned by a big chunk of the player base if it hasn't been already. Now there's those ride or die fans that'll continue to play the game up until the next one, or that only buy wrestling games and will play it up until the next one. But there's going to be a lot of players that leave the game once September starts rolling. And the two biggest ones I think are going to be Marvel's Wolverine and of course Fire Emblem on Switch 2. So those two platforms are going to have a mass genesis of players, and I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I'm pretty sure the PlayStation 5, because it has such a huge install base, is probably where most of the wrestling fans play. Even though Xbox has the marketing, it's mostly been on PlayStation. Now going forward, who knows? Because Sony just put their foot in their mouth and shot themselves in the ass with the physical disc situation. And then if we go down to October, it just continues. And all the way up until Grand Theft Auto in November. So why am I talking about this entire thing? If you've watched this long, there's one major thing that they can do to try to keep 2K26 in the limelight, in the conversation, and keep it going. And in fact, revitalize it completely. And that's by adding it to Game Pass and PS Plus. I feel like September, if you haven't bought the game yet, I would wait until September. If you can't live without it, whatever. Because I think they're going to put it on the PS Plus and Game Pass probably the same time, maybe a month from each other, just so that they don't kill each other's momentum or whatever. And they could keep it, hey, it's coming to Game Pass this month, and then next month it's coming to PS Plus. So it keeps it in the conversation, and it gets it in all those front of all these eyeballs and everything. So I think September 9th, 10th, maybe the second week, maybe right after Ringside Season Pass 5 launches, if that date is to be believed, I think it's going to coincide and go right into Game Pass and PS Plus, the base version of the game. So if you haven't bought it yet and you've been waiting, I would wait a little longer, because either that or it's going to go on a massive sale in September. It's gone down. I think the cheapest I've seen it for the base version is $44 in US dollars. I don't know what conversion rate is for you, but here in the States, I think the cheapest I've seen it so far is $44.99, both physically and digitally. So if you can wait a little longer and you haven't purchased the game and you don't care about it having such a short life for going into the next year's game, I would wait until September, because I guarantee you, I can almost guarantee you, I'd say about 90%, that'll probably go into Game Pass and PS Plus to try to keep the game alive and try to get people to spend money on those microtransactions because of all these other games coming out. And it'll prove my point that I made when I made that video talking about free-to-play and how that could really help 2K27 having a free-to-play version to get people in the door. Not a demo, a free-to-play version. It's already pretty much set up that way to begin with. They could easily transition it, and we could still have our paid version where we have all the bells and whistles that you get when you buy the $150 version, even though you still have to unlock like everything anyway. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about this because going forward, and if you haven't bought the game, and I see it in almost every single poll that I've posted, where most of you still haven't bought the game, like that's like the majority of the votes, never bought the game. Well, if you can wait a little longer and you have PS Plus or Game Pass, well, I have a feeling it's going to show up in early September. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope this video helped out. I just want to show off all these crazy games coming out and stuff I'll be playing. Obviously, I'll be playing Wolverine. I'll be playing Power World probably for the rest of the year because I love freaking Power World. I don't know what else. I'm waiting for Ocarina of Time remake. I really want to play that. That's probably one of the biggest ones. Anyway, sound off the comments down below. Which games are you most excited for besides Grand Theft Auto 6? And as always, stay frosty.
And she gets a quick kick out. Not much to that pin other than making their opponent expend energy to kick out. In a fatal four-way, danger is always surrounding you. Yeah, and that is why you have to assert your dominance early on in this type of match. You have to make...